Hello everyone, welcome to another lab. In this lab, we are going to connect the patch panel cables. If you never be in closet or the network closet, this is the great lab that you will learn how the closet is actually work with the different cable that connect to the switch. So this is the big opportunity that you have to take time and learn more in depth. But since we are just doing this lab, we quickly go through and then I will show what the important information that you guys really need to know instead of just do the lab because this is exactly look like the real environment. If you walk into their closet, the network closet is actually the same thing. It's set it up the same way. So the only difference is that you are actually interacting with this one as virtual way or kind of digital way, but it's really look like the real environment. Because of that, I want to take a little bit of time to show you guys what the important part that you need to know before we follow the instruction. But let's start with the scenario. Here is the scenario. You are a network technician for a small corporate network. Today, you moved a new workstation to Office One, and you need to connect the computer to internet local area network and the internet. In this lab, your task is to connect the workstation to wired network as follows. So before we actually follow the task one by one, I want to little bit tour this environment with you. To do that, let me maximize a little bit of what's going on here. So this is just the full rack that most of the server room or the network closet have all this type of thing. So in order to one closet fully run the network, what the minimum device or thing that should be there. So the first one is router. As you see here, the first part of this on top of this rack, the first device is router, which have internet. Like as you will see, this is the internet port, different internet port, and 4 SFP port, which is the fiber optic cables. Like one is already connected here, then the other 3 is not. And the second one is the switch. Okay, so the switch is which with the internet, also there's all these connections with 28 RJ45 port with 2 fiber optic port and I think there's 1 power over internet cable that's connected here somewhere. Okay, so the second one is another patch panel because they're different patch panel. So the first one is the patch panel that have RJ45, which is 24 port. So this 24 port, which we have all down here, it will connect with this switch. Okay, that's how the internet is connected from the wall actually to the closet and then connect to the switch. That's how the device get the internet. So that's what actually we are going to do in this lab. The second one is the another patch panel, but this patch panel is specifically just for the fiber optic cables, just 24. As you see right here, the connection is not the same because this one is RJ45, but this one is to the fiber optic cables. So the rest is another space. So we can look into, like, if you click on this one, there's different server in here. Actually, it seems like not running because there's no light. I haven't seen any connection, but it still does the server. And this the corporate data. For the top one is corporate server. The corporate data, but this is just the lab environment, but in real environment, maybe the data and the network cable is maybe not in the same place because there should be the data center and then also there should be the network cable, but it's just generally what you need to do. So the other part is UPS, which is uninterrupted power supply, rack mount, and 8 outlets. So that's I think that even the last one is also the same thing because this is just for redundancy. Lastly, we still have another device here, which is the wireless controller, Roku's rack mounted. So very much you find everything in one single place. So why that happened? Because we are talking about this small corporate network, because this is very small corporate network and they may be limit for the space or their even maybe their workers is not that many, maybe the building is not that much, maybe that big. So because of that, they put everything in one place. That's why it's good to know. So after we understand all the structure of this device, how it works together, what is actually given to us in order to do this lab. So in this lab, your task is to connect the workstation to the wired network as follows. So in the network closet, which we already in, use the appropriate twisted pair cable to make a connection between patch panel and a switch. Okay, as I already showed you guys, this is the switch. This is the patch panel. Because we already see that between switch and this port, this patch panel, depending on what it's going to say, because we can read the specification. So you use port F1 or Office 1, which is right here, and use the port 3 on the switch. Do that. So in order to do that, we have to go to Office 1 and then go to the closet and then hardwire. So since we're already here, what we are going to do is to connect port Office 1 to the patch panel. So in order to do that, we have to grab, because everything we have over here is RJ45. So we have to pick one of this cable. So we have to connect one to Office 1, the other side to port 3. How you actually know which port is port 3? That is something maybe you, oh, I never see this one before. How I know? So the way you know is you have to closely look into the switch, which we have over here. As you see, there's different number listed over here, up to 24 right here, okay? This number, which is actually, this is the 24, which actually match with 24 right here. This last 4 is for internet. So this is for just connecting the switch, but this is, as you see, is gigabyte. So like that is like for internet. So, but how you know which number is which? So if you see the arrow, which is go up and then go down, so the up is the upper number, the down is down number. So as we see here, there's number 3, which is the upper one. Because of that, so we can connect the other one to number 3. So that actually concludes that we are successfully connect that port from patch to the switch. So in Office 1, connect the Office desktop computer to the local network using appropriate twisted cable. So this is the time we have to go back to the Office lab. We come over here, and then we can look for the appropriate cable in order to do this. So we have to turn this back and get the other cable that wasn't connected. So we have to make sure. So we didn't put any network card in here, so there's nothing up here. So we can use just the regular one, which is in building, the one in bolted in. So we can connect the other side to that, and then the other side to wall. So that's actually conclude this part of the lab. And then say configure the Office 1 desktop computer to obtain the IP address and DNS address automatically, okay, from the DHCP server on the local network. How we can able to do that? I think actually this one is the assistance lab, so it assists you how to do it. So you can do this way, or you can even do the different way. But for simplicity, we can just follow what the instruction already given for us. So we have to just right click over here, and then it pop up like the network and internet setting, which is we go to do the same thing through the search, and then we look for setting, and we can able to get there. So after we came here, so we have to go down. Instead of we go down, so we have to click on internet. After that, we just keep go down and come to this area, and when IP assignment, and then we have to click on this, and we have to select the edit the setting, which is instead of manually, we put everything on automatic. Okay, and then save that. If we don't save that, it's not going to be work. So then use the setting app to confirm that the workstation is properly connected to the local network and internet. So how we know that? We can go back here, go to setting, do the same thing, go here. So click on internet, and as you see here, when we go down, so this is automatic instead of manual. So that way we know that this is conclude this lab. So as we do all the time, let's escort the lab and check for the answer. All right, as you see, we are doing well with this lab, and this is the 100%. So as all time, thank you for watching. See you next lab.